I got a couple things.
won't hold it
I got a couple things going on to me as I walk out to this field. First and foremost, yeah, I'm interested in the plant itself and the biomass it produces above ground, the biomass it produces below ground. One of the best ways to get biomass out of this above and below ground is to do the soil work, get your soil test, determine your needs, put the things there that you need, and use some compost on this just like it was your veg crop. We said it yesterday. If we treat the cover crop more like we treat our crop, you're going to get more biomass and more benefit. This is the way to get benefit from your crop. So don't underfeed it. And everything you do to it, the cover crop, before you plant it, is going to typically be there when you go to your crop. Right. And it's going to be in better condition too. So it's a way to get the minerals and things that you put into the soil, the compost, actually active and ready for your crop. Right. So in biomass, yeah, we go, wow, look at this great biomass. Well, here's the other one going on. If I walk in here right now quietly, I love to grow cover crop, and then I go out and walk them. Walk into it slowly, and I can see it from out here, and we can both stop and look, and I see insects. I see some pretty big ones. I see them moving around. If we take 1 square acre, and we pretend that we could measure the number of insects, microarthropods and others, both the 9 animals that live on the surface, the guys that fly in, measure their weight in one season, in 1 year, by having cover crop and not bare land, you've attracted and born approximately, by every entomologist I've ever asked, maybe 2,000 pounds of insects.
What? That's free fertilizer.
35% protein. Died, yeah. If you go down to the store right now and buy protein, like 12% protein, it's going to cost you about $400 a ton.
Yeah.
So you just put, by having your cover crop, you've attracted all this other life forms, and they're dying there, they're being born right there. So that's one thing that I always realize about my crops, the birds, the number of birds it attracts. Little bird goes in, he eats the bug, he recycles, and he craps in your field.
Right. Yep.
It's not going to happen if you don't have the cover crop. So this is part of this synergism going on. Let's look. Okay, so we.
Let me ask you one question.
Yeah.
Can you mix all the seeds up and just plant them, or you have to plant them in
the cover crop
whatever?
seeds?
Yeah, the cover crop seeds. Can
Okay,
you mix all 5, 6?
Yeah.
Definitely. I take them, I mix them together, and then I can either prepare my field like broadcast, and then maybe just take a little rake over it, or I can drill them in with a drill.
Oh, I mean drill them in with a drill.
Take a seed drill, a tool that's intended and designed to take the seed and it puts it in the ground for you, pulled behind a tractor. Or I can broadcast seed out. Both are appropriate. I like broadcasting because it hickey-jickeys the seed all over. I don't have that little line in between where the drill puts it in, that I got weeds and things that come up. But wait a minute, weeds are okay. A little bit of weeds in there, we can go in. I can see a little bit of weeds. That's okay. That adds to the diversity that we're looking for, right?
So it's better off you just shy it.
You can just spread them out. Spread them out.
Do you even cover it? You just let it go?
Okay, that depends. Depends on the soil. Is my soil really low in organic matter, and when the slight rain comes and it becomes powdered like this? Okay, so let's look at this. This right here is essentially really poor. Yeah. And this hasn't been fertilized or dealt with out here. You see how it's tending to crust?
Yeah.
This is called crusting. So we got to go back to the series of soil. These are high clay content soils, and clay is a very fine material. This is a shrink swell clay. You see how it's shrinking right now, leaving cracks, and then when it gets wetter, it'll swell up. So the tendency here is for low calcium. Now, we haven't talked about soil nutrients, but the calcium is critical to you getting aggregation in this soil. Chemically, physically, calcium fluctuates clays. The term flocculation means the clay is going to loosen up. Clays are in layers, typically. And these layers become compact. And with calcium there's some physics that go on and it puffs them up. That's what you want. You want this lofting effect from calcium. This is a physical, mechanical process. Chemical. It doesn't have anything to do with the biology. So I've got calcium I can use. I've got compost I can use. I've got some minerals I can put in. All of this aggregating the soil, more so, and making my cover crop grow stronger. So I come out the cover crop, I look. This is my first indication of how the crop's going to grow. You see over there where it's growing higher?
Yeah.
Maybe it's a hill there. I got to walk in, this tricky business. I got to get in there and look, but typically let's pretend that it's bone flat. It's flat as the table. Flat as the top of my head. You look and you go, oh, there's a dip right there. Why isn't it growing? Well, I'll bet you anything, you walk out there, what you find is compacted soil in that area. It's probably a little lower. Maybe stuff is settled in. Anytime you see poor growth, start thinking, compacted soil. Something's compacted. It's collecting water, doesn't have enough air, air-water reverse relationship, too much one, not enough the other. So the cover crop, to me, I get back up on the hill and I look, get an overhead look, or I go out there and look, you go, oh, what's going on over there? This is where we're going to need to address some problems.
How would you rectify that?
Go out and determine what's going on, dig a hole, have a look at it, do it with some experience. Okay, well, so what was this business, this thing clinging to this shovel? This stuff wants to be clingy.
Yeah, that's too tight.
This is a typical characteristic. This is a symptom of high magnesium. I'll bet you. Well, here we go, making projections. This has got some roots in it. This is looking pretty good. This is looking pretty good. This stuff here from over where we were, this ain't looking so good. All right, this is like, uh-oh. Oh, I had a wormhole. This kind of skinny, and there's only one, or maybe 1.5 or 2. Then cut it. All right, this got some roots we're going on here. I can bring it apart. Doesn't smell sour. Smell any soil smells sourish or sour, done. It's not enough air. Okay, and this is getting a little decent airflow into it, but I'm still from the clay content and just from dealing with soil for a long time. I'll bet it's high in mag. When it gets wet, it wants to get a little sticky on that shovel blade and stuff. You ever walk through a field and you start piling up on your shoes, you can't get it off? I'll bet you dinner in the best place in town, it's magnesium. It's too much mag. Okay, our lavas from the Hawaiian volcanoes all across the islands had plenty of mag in the parent material. And it's in the clay now. That's where the mag is. So where's the calcium and magnesium in soil? I always want to know where stuff's located. If you don't know where the carburetor is, you can't fix it.
Right.
My brothers, they know where the carburetor is, the battery and all that stuff. I know nothing of this. If I turn the key, it don't work. I'm dead. They go, what's the battery, Bob? It's a switch. Well, you got to know where it is before you can fix it.
Right.
So where's the calcium and the magnesium and potassium in soil? Where is it at? Is it just running around willy-nilly? Is it hiding in the pores or something? It's in the layers of the clay. It's interlayered into the clay and attached to the clay. So the clay is controlling your nutrient availability for the stuff. And as we get those balances more to, I'm not a perfectionist. There's some people who go, oh, it has to be 65 and 12 and we'll get ballpark. Head the right direction. If you're going the wrong direction, you're going to get there. Hit ballpark the right direction. You'll get there. So, I don't know where we started. We talked about high clay content. I know these volcanoes had a lot of magnesium in them. It's still evolving out of the clay, whereas the calcium has been used up. It's exported by the crop more so, and not found in the higher volume in the parent rock as the magnesium. So you're going to get a lot of mag, and you only need so much. So anything that's deficient in the soil causes an excess of something else. Go online, go to Google, and find antagonism of minerals. Antagonism of minerals in us. I met the doctor one day, 20 years ago. He said, what do you do? Oh, I soil samples, I do all stuff. And he goes, oh, well, you know 68, 12, and 5, which is 68% calcium, 12% mag, 5% potassium. I went, it's in her blood? He went, what would you expect? You're a soil guy, Bob. You go, oh my God. Our blood is approximately the mineral ratio that we want in clay.
Wow.
Okay, we're
And
gonna
you
wrap
go,
it up.
coincidence, maybe.
Is that why we want to do our soil test, and that's why you strongly disagreed? Because
Yes.
we want to know if we're close to that ratio before we start, right?
Yes. Now look, what's the patient here? The patient is the soil. So I can take a sample, Doc can take a blood test, but that's just information. I'm not saying to do everything that the agronomists from the lab tell you to do, but you do want to get with the lab, stick with the lab, study them, talk to them. If they won't talk to you, if they won't teach you what's going on, go find another one. Call me and I'll set you up with some people and you can learn from them. I've spent 25 years with some labs. We got to know where the minerals are. I can't manage organic matter management, compost, cover crops, mulches, nutrient management. I'm giving a lecture one day 20 years ago in Hawaii. This sincere young man comes up and goes, Mr. Schafer, can I taste the soil and know where the calcium is?
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Send it to a lab. Let's find out what's there. Now I can make some rational choices. Yeah?
Thank you, Bob.
How do we remediate high magnesium if it's